estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Shows and supporting all of our expert contributors at consumerqb.com is our website. Of course, consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. And we are inviting you to our next gratitude party. It's on Thursday, May 16th, 6 o'clock over at Ours Creole Smokehouse in Tarpon Springs. It's 310 East Tarpon Avenue in Tarpon Springs. And come on out and enjoy some great food, excellent food. Chef Doug Clark does a great job on the New Orleans flavored food. Excellent food and a great environment, atmosphere. Alex Black Belt Lima is going to be hosting that. Alex, it's going to be a good time over there, huh?
Man, I can't wait. I love that place. I've been a couple times with my family and stuff, and just hanging out. And it's just a cool environment, and the food is absolutely excellent. Like, we're not just saying that; it's really good.
It is. It's something to have there, and we're going to have all of our expert contributors, a lot of our expert contributors, radio show personalities, going to be there. Come on out and network. You'll meet some of our real estate team. Abby from our real estate team is going to be there. Come on out and bring any real estate questions, radio questions you have, and meet the team. Thursday, May 16th, 6 o'clock, Ours Creole Smokehouse, Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, and that is our third Thursday event for the Consumer Quarterback Show. So we appreciate you supporting the show, and that's our way of showing some gratitude back to you, our valued audience and listeners out there. We greatly appreciate that. We got a great lineup for you as well. Jason Avery's in the house. Avery Construction, remodeling company, and also he has designer cabinets. He's an entrepreneur, author. Constructing Success is the name of his book. He's also a speaker, so we're going to talk with him about some of the things he's doing. Also, housing, what's going on with the housing, the affordability, interesting content coming up here from Jason Avery. We got Logan Briggs, our roofing expert contributor, as well as my wife is going to be on the show today. Lindsay Rhymes going to be talking about our 92-unit luxury condo complex that we are selling, development that we're selling up in Gainesville, Florida. Luxury condos in Gainesville, 1 mile from UF, close to the hospital. So we'll be talking with her about that project and more coming up here on today's program. Now, you know, we always like to feature our real estate listings on the program, so we're going to talk about that, as well as I want to give a shout out to Weed Busters here in Tampa Bay. If you live on a lake or a body of water where you have this aquatic plant life growing, check out weedbustersfl.com. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. They've got these awesome machines, these floating barges basically that come in and till up and pull all that aquatic life out of there, get it out of there, and clean up your waterways so you can take the jet skis out and all that good stuff. Weedbustersfl.com. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, hot new listing, brand new listing here at 4809 Portland Manor Drive. This one's in Newport Richey, Pasco County. You get a lot of bang for your buck the further north you go in our listening audience here. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1912 square feet, 55-plus Heritage Lake. This one's on Portland Manor Drive in Newport Richey. Hardwood floors, flooded with natural light. Looks like an open floor plan there. Beautiful property here. You have a kitchen that has a tray ceiling fan, abundant cabinet space, large breakfast nook. The lot size is about 0.15 with no backyard neighbors. Beautiful property here. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1912 square feet, 4809 Portland Manor Drive in Newport Richey, Florida. Common grounds also, you have shade trees, ponds, heated pool as amenities, clubhouse, bocce ball, shuffleboard courts, tennis, and pickleball courts there. So 4809 Portland Manor Drive, one of our hot real estate listings from the Platinum MVP team. And one of my favorites, we're going to stay in Newport Richey here, 6101 Bayside Drive, $1 million listing from the Platinum MVP team. Waterfront property, canal front home. Bring your boat, bring your jet skis. You got a private dock here, 5 bedrooms, 3-bath, 3852 square feet, quarter-acre lot with lush palm trees, hurricane-grade windows and doors. You have a wood-burning fireplace, open concept kitchen, and it has some really nice updates here as well. And a beautiful property, direct Gulf access and access to the sandy beaches, world-class fishing, diving, water sports, and islands at 6101 Bayside Drive, Newport Richey, Florida. And if you'd like to have your listing on our show, we would love to talk to you. If you're buying, selling, or investing, reach out at consumerqb.com. And if you want to see all of our real estate listings, go to platinumcoastalelite.com. Check out platinumcoastalelite.com. That's right. Shout out to all of our veterans out there. Jason Avery back in studio. Welcome back, sir.
What's happening, Brandon? It's great to be here.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Good to see you again. And thanks for coming in. And you know, when you think about the market right now, it's interesting because the market affects so many, the real estate market that is, affects so many different industries differently.
I tell you what, I've mentioned it the last couple of times I've seen you that things have been kind of on the same trajectory for about a year and a half. Between the interest rates and the inflation out there, the average middle-class family has kind of put some of their spending on hold, the big projects otherwise on hold. Now, we see this happen before, you know, it comes and goes in waves, and that's just it. Eventually, it becomes pent-up demand, and eventually we'll see all those people surge back at one time. Everybody wants it done at the same time.
Yeah,
we're used to that, but I mean, it hasn't hurt our businesses any because the people coming out of the woodwork are the elite, the 1% of the 1%, and the size of the projects that we're taking on is just massively bigger than it was just 12 months ago. And
interesting.
So yeah, it's really interesting to see what's happening. And you know, I go to a lot of different speaking engagements, networking environments, and I was listening to a bunch of realtors and mortgage people just yesterday, and they were talking about the fact that because of the rising home prices here in our area, that a lot of people were, as a seller, were putting off on any improvement. They were not giving any concessions or allowances for things because they didn't have to, because they were getting top dollar for that listing. And that now, in the last few months, it's starting to, you know, pull back a little bit. Now, again, interest rates are probably the biggest factor in that, but that since the price of the homes are now starting to come down, that some of these sellers are now going to have to start putting a little bit of improvement and make a little concession into those homes just to move them at this point in time.
Yeah.
And then what I took away from the conversation that I thought was most important is the fact that people shouldn't use this as an excuse or a reason to not buy a home now. Because if you wait, you might be getting a lesser interest rate, but then there's going to be higher demand and the price of the homes is going to spike back up again.
That's right.
Right now, you can get the best deal on the value of the home, and yes, you may pay a little bit more in interest out of the gate, but it's the old adage of, you know, you marry the price and you date the rate, you know.
Yeah.
So if you have to take the higher rate for a couple of years until we get back into something more reasonable, you can buy that down as you go, but you're still locked in at the lower sales price of the house to begin with. So we're expecting, you know, from the remodeling just to stay pretty much steady and consistent for now. And I think that's going to probably run right through to the election. And then, you know, I think I know which way this election's going, but it doesn't matter really which way it goes in the consumer's eyes as long as they know what the rules of the game are going to be.
Yeah.
You know, and there are people who will come out and spend their money based on what they think was right or wrong about the result of that election.
Yeah.
So I think the market's going to open up more, but this is certainly an interesting year, and it has been for the last year. And so the cabinet world, like the other company, I think we're expecting to see a spike. You know, we have cleaned up, you know, every little nuance that was hanging out there, and we've got peak efficiency running, and we're just we're hungry for more at this point. But I definitely see that trend coming as these sellers need to start putting more money into these homes, fixing them up before they can offload them.
Well, that's a good point. I wanted to stay on that topic too. When you look at real estate, the buying and selling, right? You look at the factors of what a home would sell for and when it will sell. And right now we are seeing those record numbers of price improvements. We call it a price improvement. Some people call it a price drop from the buying perspective. And when you think about that, there's only two reasons why a house won't sell, or two reasons why a house sits on the market. One is price, and two is condition, right? And you can always say, oh, well, location. Right, but you wouldn't be looking at, the prospect wouldn't be looking at that area if they were into that location, right? So when it comes to price and condition, those are the two factors, Jason.
Yeah, well, we still have inventory out there, and so there's going to be a comparable home somewhere nearby. And so if I'm comparing two homes relatively in the same area, relatively at the same price point, and one of them has the updated kitchen and bathrooms and the other one still looks like 1975, you know, that's obviously a deciding factor. the average person doesn't want to live through the remodeling. They would rather come into the home that's move-in ready in their eyes. Like,
Right.
oh, maybe we could throw a fresh coat of paint later or update these floors later, but for the most part that it's ready to go.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people that we entertain are the people who are buying and with the intent that they're going to gut the place and start all over. My clientele has, again, kind of grown over the years into, the upper end, we'll say. But a lot of these people, as I meet them, might already have themselves into real estate transactions for a waterfront property, thinking that they're just going to make this home exactly the way they want, and they're not aware or up to speed with the context of the 50-50 rule by FEMA. This is a common issue in flood zone areas that you're going to have to be limited to improving no more than 50% of the value of your structure.
Okay.
So let's say it's $500,000 real estate purchase overall. $350,000 of that was probably the land, and $150,000 of that was the structure. And then you got to only allowed to go up to half of that. That's $75,000. But if in the last 12 months, if a roof was put on, if an air conditioner was put in, if windows were done, anything that was permitted, that's going to take away from that value. So you might not be able to update kitchens and baths as you wished you could. I met one last year, unfortunately too late, where they'd already bought and purchased the home thinking they're going to remodel everything, but all the cast iron piping under the house was no good anymore. It was crumbling and caving in and falling apart. So by the time they dug up and trenched the ground to replace the pipes, to then fix the concrete, to then put new floors, forget it. The whole allowance was spent.
Wow. So say that rule again, because it's such a weird
This is by
rule.
FEMA, so we're our federal government, and it's basically to protect them against a major hurricane flooding all the homes along the coastline.
Yeah.
And then FEMA, as insurance, has to step in and help these families who didn't have flood insurance to fix up their home. Well, they don't want those homes there in the flood zone, so they can't tell you have to tear it down, but they can limit the amount that you're allowed to improve upon that old structure.
Got it.
And it's 50% the value of the structure.
Yeah.
Now, so again, take your real estate, take away the land, which is the biggest chunk, take away the pool, take away the add-on accessory feature over there, and get down to just the structure of the main house, and then only half of that amount is what you're allowed to spend.
Wow. Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's different interpretations of the rule depending on which municipality you live in. And there's 23 different municipalities in Pinellas County alone, and all these little cities, these little beach factions and stuff. And so if you go to one area, they might tell you you can pull a new permit as soon as you close the first one. Go into a different city, and they'll tell you, no, you have to wait 12 months first. Go to another city, they tell you 36 months. There's 84 months out there now in one of our areas. So it's just it's all a matter of interpretation by the local building department of the federal FEMA rules. And I tell you what, it's become a tremendous nightmare for us in some permitting. I have one project that's over $500,000, and all the living areas upstairs out of the floodplain. In the past, somebody had installed a couple bathrooms downstairs where they don't want those to be, and in order for me to get a permit, I'm having to return those back to original condition and wipe them out just to be able to get the upstairs done. The client agrees to all this, but now because we're working downstairs, I have to tie in the FEMA value for the whole structure to the whole project. It's a $500,000 project. Good thing it's a $1.4 million home, but it's the kind of thing that has become extra hurdles and hoops and restrictions that a lot of people aren't aware of when making their real estate purchase. And so realtors need to educate themselves on this topic too, so that they don't steer people the wrong way.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I can see how that's very frustrating. Each county having different codes and different processes. More with Jason Avery Construction, home remodeling as well. He also has designer cabinets business here in Tampa Bay. And we'll talk about his book coming up as well, Constructing Success. More with Jason Avery here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes1 at CQB Show, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just search Consumer Quarterback Show on YouTube, and you'll find our program there. And we are close to another milestone, so that would really be a big favor to us if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast.
Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here. 5642 Egrets Place, Newport Richey, another one of our real estate listings. Beautiful property. This is a gated community, 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 3,000 square foot home. And it's a 1/4 acre lot. Beautiful heated pool with a waterfall. You have an elevator in the home. Gorgeous view across the way there. You've got a view of the canal going out to the Gulf of Mexico. Community also has Club waterfront clubhouse, heated pool, lighted tennis courts, upgraded stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, and more at 5642 Egrets Place, Newport Richey, Florida. Another one of our beautiful listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And we have a bar for sale out in Plant City, 5402 West Highway 92, and that's in Plant City. Now, it could maybe be converted to a restaurant. I'm not sure on zoning things. You'd have to check with that, but great opportunity. Now, the big deal here is you get the coveted, highly coveted COP license. So that's your liquor license that allows you to sell packaged liquor and also host events on or off location. 5402 West Highway 92, Plant City. The Finish Line Saloon Bar is for sale from the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com. All right, we're talking with Jason Avery, Avery Construction, home remodeling company, designer cabinets, also author of Constructing Success. What say you about the book there, Jay?
The book is not just a book about construction. It's a book about entrepreneurs who need to build relationships with people over a period of time. And, when you have a relationship over a period of time, there's going to be emotional highs and lows to the relationship. And if we want to, come through the finish line with a customer who still will be our friend, that is a referral partner for life. Yeah. And so it's, a lot to do with managing expectations. I kind of related to a game of chess and kind of understanding the pitfalls of your industry. Where, what upset the last person? Right. And now, if I know there's a potential for this new person to get upset about the same thing, what can I do 2 moves ahead to prevent that from happening? Yeah. And to help ease the pain. So a lot of it has to do with just good communication up front, setting clear expectations. I try to paint the worst picture of it, not the best picture of it. I try to tell them all the things that could be uncomfortable about this process so that they also know that I'm aware of them and I can show them the measures I'm going to take to prevent those things. Right. But that's the idea of the book, is that how do you manage a relationship over a period of time and maintain a lifelong customer, a lifelong referral partner?
Yeah. And you also just set your wife up in business with a new business.
So she's been a licensed massage therapist for a couple of years. So we decided to finally pull the trigger, and we purchased commercial real estate about 1.5 years ago. That was a permitting nightmare, taking an old residential property from the 50s that had been rezoned commercial but never had a single commercial improvement. Wow. And then we had to make that, of commercial standard for today. I mean, digging retention ponds and above ground septics and just all this big stuff before we even got to the pretty parts.
Above ground septic.
Yeah, so we had, when you replace your septic, you can't just swap it out for the way it was under the ground, and that was a residential application. Huh. They now needed, because of commercial volume. Yeah. And so they send somebody out to do a soil sampling. Right. And then that goes to the state Department of Health. Yep. And they determined there's too much clay in the dirt for the water to permeate correctly. They didn't have a massage therapy salon in there as an option, so they went ahead and put it in as like a hair salon. Okay. Seems like a little different use of water volume to me with all the hair sinks and stuff. But either way, this is so that they said then it had to be double the tank size, triple the drain field size, put it above ground instead of underground, put pumps to pump your poo-poo uphill. Wow. And then, it was 16 truckloads of dirt for this mound. The mound is bigger than the footprint of the building. Wow. And then otherwise, 6 pallets of sod to cover it. It just, these little things that you say, oh, wow, okay. Even a contractor who does this for a living can get caught off guard by some of the ridiculous requirements. It is, yeah. Because I put in a driveway, I needed 210 feet of sidewalk, pedestrian walkway added to that, and then 1 other foot of material in between those two to separate them. Yeah.
The building departments can literally come in and just change your whole scope of your project. They can kill a deal. Like I've got a deal right now, vacant land we're developing, and the county comes in and says, nope, you got to redo the bridge. The bridge costs $4 million to redo the bridge. Right.
I find that most of the aggravation is in the bureaucracy of the office. Yeah. And once you can get through the office, which is trying to be black and white against the code book, but there's always an exception to a rule, and nobody wants to hear about that. Yeah. And so, but when you get to the guys in the field, you tend to find good old boys as the inspectors. Right. They were contractors themselves. They get it. They're, as long as you're not blatantly doing things that are violations of code, they're pretty easy to work with. So
Yeah.
we like those relationships in the field.
Yeah, exactly.
So
take care of those guys.
Yes, sir. But the salon is open. It's been open for 10 weeks, and we're proud of it. It's already, it's paying its own bills. We still need to keep ramping up the clientele, but it's Glow Therapeutic Spa. It's at 947 West Jefferson in Brooksville, and it's got massages going on all day, facials going on all day, infrared sauna, halo salt chamber, and then now we have this one room that's a rentable room, and so we've already signed up a guy who's coming in 1 day a month with IV. Cool. Now, nutritional IV to start. We're talking with a couple other people. We have one other massage therapist coming in there a few days a week. We have we're starting to build up a menu of options for people that revolve around the health and wellness space.
Very cool. Yeah, I love it. Catching up with Jason Avery here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. A longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, Avery Construction, Avery Remodeling. You have designer cabinets. He's got his book, entrepreneurship, doing some speaking, set his wife up in business, lots of businesses, entrepreneurship. Jason, we've got about a minute left. Final thought.
Brandon, it's just you got to think about this upcoming, political environment very carefully, and make sure you know what side of the line you're on and which side is going to be the best for the country in general. It seems to me that there's chaos everywhere, and it's unnecessary. And 70% of this nation, we all agree with each other. 70% of us are right there in the middle. It's the 15% on one end or the other as an extreme that are dividing us and taking us away from just common sense. Yeah. So I hope that everybody out there can go do a nice gesture for a neighbor, even if you don't agree with the way they believe. Just show that we can all get along.
A message of unity from Jason Avery. Do we see a political office running here?
I'm going to stay in the woods in Brooksville and just mind my own business.
Yeah, exactly.
I will show up to vote.
There you go. That's right. Good stuff. All right, Jason Avery, Avery Construction. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. And coming up, we're going to talk with Logan Briggs. He's our roofing expert contributor on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to talk about the roofing industry, insurance, how that affects it as well. Later on, I've got Lindsay Rhymes coming in studio as well. We're going to talk about our Gainesville project, Archer Place up in Gainesville, Florida, luxury condos for sale up there. And follow us online. We'd love to connect at Brandon Rhymes 1. Check out the YouTube channel and Rumble. Right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up, Logan Briggs, Gulfshield Roofing here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And a quick shout out to our friends at Replenish IV Solutions. I just left their Gandy location, and I got hooked up with a vitamin infusion drip, something like the Myers cocktail directly into my bloodstream. ReplenishIVSolutions.com. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. They can come to your home or office, and they've got great, convenient locations here in Tampa Bay. ReplenishIVSolutions.com. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, 18522 Gulf Boulevard. This is Indian Shores. Beautiful beachfront property. Have you ever wanted to own your own beach house? Well, here it is. 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2,000 square feet. Beachfront condo, Indian Shores, Pinellas County. It's 18522 Gulf Boulevard, Unit F, and Indian Shores. And I love this property. When you walk out and you look out the right-hand side from your balcony, you're looking at the Intercoastal Waterways, Tom Stewart Causeway. You look out to the left, you're looking at the Gulf of Mexico, sugar sand beaches, and dolphin-filled waters. $1 million listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 5121 40th Avenue North. This one's in St. Petersburg. You have a completely renovated home. Beautiful property here. 4 bedrooms, 2 bath. Almost 2,100 square feet. Quarter-acre lot surrounded by beautiful oak trees. Spacious living room and kitchen. Primary bedroom located upstairs. You have newly refinished hardwood floors that flow throughout. You have some front porch sitting there, stretching nearly an entire length of the second story, and it's close to downtown St. Petersburg and St. Pete Beach and Tropicana Field. 5121 40th Avenue North, St. Petersburg, Florida, and you can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com. All right, we've got our friend Logan Briggs back in studio, Gulfshield Roofing, and this is the season to start preparing. Hurricane season is almost here, or is it on us now? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
it's coming up, right?
I would say it's almost here. I mean, I think National Hurricane Awareness Week was last week. So, June 1st is the official start, and that runs all the way through, I believe, till November 1st.
Somewhere, yeah. I mean, it's growing, it seems, because it's expanding. It seems like it's expanding a little bit.
Yeah, I would say maybe December 1st now.
Who knows?
With climate change.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a time of year where you really start to get prepared. It's got to be some kind of planning. Is very, very helpful for homeowners. Getting your roof inspected is extremely important this time of year. Make sure you got the debris taken off of it, looking around for any damage or missing shingles. If you have leaks, this is the time to get them repaired. It's been dry. I don't know if we're officially in a drought. It sure feels like we're in a drought.
Seems like it was a very dry winter.
Yeah, really dry winter.
And even last summer, towards the end of last summer, seemed like it was dry.
Yeah, I mean, I think I live up in Pasco, and I think like the reclaimed water has all been like shut off, so you can't really sprinkle or water your grass now, which is always a sign that we're in a drought. And but that's all going to change probably come June, the summer, with the daily rains.
Yeah, exactly. And so when that happens, you see a certain amount of people that are going to need to replace their roof, but also you can do a repair too. It's not always a full replacement required. Yeah,
that's why our clients really, really love us, is because we can come to the home where contractors they might have gotten a second opinion from us, and they realize, man, they don't have to spend $15,000 to $20,000 on a new roof, maybe a couple $100 for a repair. A lot of the roofs can be repaired that are about, anytime you get around the 15-year mark and above, you got to be careful what kind of repair work you can do. At that point, it might be smart to start budgeting for a new roof. But a roof at 10 years and younger is absolutely repairable. We can get techs out there pretty much the next day, within 48 hours, to repair the leaks. And we give same-day estimates with our repair leaks, or our repairs as well, right? So if you have a leak, you're going to leave there knowing what it would cost, which is really, really important, because the leaks need immediate attention, right? It could be raining the next day, and the last thing you want is more damage coming to your home. So we like to leave homeowners with that price right there so they can make a good, educated decision.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and you want to get it covered right away, too. If you have an issue where you can't get someone there, you got to put a blue tarp on it and somehow have those temporary fixes. Yeah. But there's also a lot of scammers. We've heard over the years doing the show that there's these door knockers and scammers out there. What do we need to look for with those guys?
Yeah, I mean, Florida is like known for the door knocking. That's still a really popular industry here, whether it's pest control or solar, especially roofing, right? I mean, there's a couple things that you can look for as a consumer. One, make sure they're licensed and insured. They should carry that on them. By law, they have to have their license number with them, so they should have that. COIs, that kind of stuff, they might be able to email you, but that's really, really important before you let anybody on your property. Yeah. Do not let anyone near your roof, let alone on your property, if they don't present you with some kind of licensing, but then also a certificate of insurance as well. Yeah. They'll know exactly what you're talking about when you say that. So if they look confused, you tell them to hit the road. Do not let them on your property. Yeah, those are a couple things you look for. Also, if they don't have any information with them, right? If they don't have a business card, if they don't have any information about the company, I've noticed that in my neighborhood, right? I get a lot of solar guys that come through, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, man, I don't have a lot of time. Just give me your card or some information on your company. And they go, oh, we don't have any of that. Yeah. Right there is a major red flag. You wouldn't have any information to give me about your company. Yeah, exactly. Come on, man. No. Yeah. So those are red flags. Also, especially within roofing, if they're out there just to say, hey, look, I can get your roof and bought through an insurance company, and that's the only thing they're focused on is getting you an insurance claim, that's also a red flag too. Yeah. A couple questions you can ask is, say, hey, what would this cost to get my replacement of my roof done? And if they're like, I don't really know, I have to wait for your insurance, that's a red flag. That means they're only out to get your insurance to pay for your roof. So as soon as you let them up on your roof, they're going to, quotations, find damage, right? They're gonna find something up there for you to get an insurance claim. Yep. Whether they did it or the weather did it, that's up for discussion. Right. But at the end of the day, it's really important. If they can't quote you like what it would cost if you were to buy that retail, then you really got to think, like, what is their main priority out here? Is it just to go get insurance money, or is it to actually help me as a homeowner?
Right. Yeah, we're having a conversation around roofing in Florida with Logan Briggs, Gulfshield Roofing. He's the owner. He's also a family man. We've talked about your family on the show. And you've got, was it 3 girls in lacrosse?
3 girls. They were in lacrosse. That's over. Now they're jumping into cheer. So
there you go.
It's very loud in my house. A lot of gymnastics going on. You might get kicked in the head with the cartwheel.
Yeah.
You know, pink and purples everywhere. You got to be careful in my house. It's a zoo.
Yeah.
It is wild.
I hear you.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's a lot of fun. So speaking of, when you look at these door knockers over the years, we've talked about this on the program before. They will come up, and if you do happen to have something that needs immediate attention, like the roof tarping, for example, hey, a storm just came through. Man, I got to get this covered, and people start talking about deposits. What's a red flag when you have that conversation around a deposit? If there's a job that maybe quoted or agreed to, deposits can sometimes be so high that they'll take the money and run.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, anything over 50% is a major red flag. Like, why would I have to give you 50% to do this work, and you might not even be on the schedule yet, right? I mean, there's going to be some things that are going to, got to follow your gut, right? Like, why would I need to give you 50% down? I don't even know if my roof's improved by insurance. I don't even know what you're doing. You haven't given me an estimate. It's like, those are some things that you might want to be careful of, right? Is those kind of high deposits, and then also when it comes to deposits too, is like, how did you meet this contractor, right?
Yeah.
Has he done any work with friends or family? I mean, how do you know that he's a trusted contractor that's in the community, right? Did he present you with the licenses, insurance, or any kind of references? And that should make you feel a little bit better about giving a deposit or not. Yeah.
It's interesting when you think about, the strategies that people employ sometimes. Here's an interesting clip I want to play. Charlie Kirk on housing.
It's a great question. So 4 years ago, the average income to be able to buy a home in this country was $59,000 a year. Now it requires $106,000 a year to buy a home, and it's probably even more than that here in Vegas, is my guess. You have been robbed by the DC political class, and then big corporations like BlackRock come in and purchase these homes and then rent them back to you. This is one of the reasons why I personally support President Donald Trump's candidacy.
Yeah, so he goes into the cost of ownership, home ownership, $59,000 however many years ago, he said. And then $106,000 today. So the cost of buying a home has gone up. The cost of maintaining a home, or even replacing roofs, things of that nature, everything has gone up. And then you also have, to add insult to the injury here, you have these companies like BlackRock and State Street, some of these huge multi-trillion-dollar hedge funds buying up properties that could normally be sold to a family, to a veteran, a first-time buyer. So it's a challenging time in our nation's history with housing.
Yeah. I've seen it firsthand in Tampa. I think BlackRock or Invitation Homes is what they're known as. I think they own 12,000 homes just in our area.
Yeah, they'll have different subsidiaries that they bite under, kind of like the red herring approach, like Disney. When Disney first came out and bought up a lot of the land in Orlando, they didn't come out and say, hey, we're Disney, we want to buy all this land. They bought it in separate LLCs so they wouldn't get price gouged.
Right,
so
exactly.
It's similar to that. They're doing it in reverse.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, one of the things that I was actually a vendor for them. When I first came to Tampa, I was looking for just some like repair work as a roofer.
Sure.
And they were notoriously price just sensitive, I guess I'll call it, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they didn't want, they never did full replacements. They would be leaking roofs. The homeowners would be so upset when I would walk in. You know, so in my opinion, I think when you see the big hedge funds like that come into markets and buy the homes, I don't agree with it at all. I can't support that for a second. Those belong to American citizens. That's going to help drive the economy.
Yep.
There's several different reasons why I think it's wrong.
Yep.
Now, look, all for real estate investing when it's appropriate, and they're taking homes and they're adding value to them and they're actually managing them correctly. I can't say the same for those guys.
Yeah, because they're turning around and making people into a renter. They're turning us into a renter economy. They want you to own nothing and be happy. That's essentially the whole deal with the World Economic Forum. Logan Briggs, Gulfshield Roofing. How do you want people to connect with you?
Yeah, you can always check out our website, www.gulfshieldroofing.com. Gulfshield Roofing on Instagram and Facebook. Great areas to find information about us, see the jobs we've done. We post a ton of pictures, a lot of drone footage too. That's really cool. And then also you can call me directly. My cell phone's 813-599-0428. You can text or call.
And that's Gulfshield, not golf.
No, not like the sport.
Not like golfing. The
I play a lot of golf, so it's kind of always like, I'm like, I think subliminally I named it that. It's just the golf. But no, golf like the Gulf of Mexico.
Gulfshield Roofing. Check them out online. Logan Briggs, longtime friend of the program. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon.
My pleasure. All right, taking a quick break. We're going to have special guest, my wife, Lindsay Rhymes, on the show here coming up. Archer Place out of Gainesville, 92-unit luxury condo development, and more coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you've been listening to the phenomenal Brandon Rhymes.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here. We're back. Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Lindsay Rhymes in studio with us, coming up here in just a minute. Before we do, I want to let you know about one of our listings here. We got a hot listing down in Manatee County. This one's 7325 Skybird Road, Unit 399 in Bradenton. This one is a beautiful property. It's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 1-car garage, 1520 square foot with lake views. And you have beautiful lake views there out of your living room slider. Now, the amenities at this place are really cool. You got an 81-foot lagoon-style heated pool, clubhouse, fitness center, catering, and catering kitchen located close to the beaches and downtown Riverwalk. Remodeled within the last year, granite countertops, wood cabinets, stainless steel appliances, and more at 7325 Skybird Road, Unit 399, Bradenton, Florida. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com. All right, Lindsay Rhymes in studio with us. Welcome in studio.
Thank you.
All right, so how are things going in Gainesville?
Things in Gainesville are going very well.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about Archer Place.
So Archer Place is the only high-end luxury condo community in Gainesville. One of the reasons our buyers love it is because it's about 1.5 miles from the University of Florida. We're also about 5 minutes to Shands Medical, which is a very large medical facility there. A couple of minutes from Butler Plaza. So we're really situated in a good area. The community is pretty comprehensive with the amenities, so you can stay at the community, yet if you want to go to some of the local plazas and enjoy some of the higher traffic areas, it's just a perfect location.
Yeah, it looks like it, and Alex put it up on the screen here if you're watching our TV show version, and if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so, and you'll be able to see all of the additional video footage with the radio interviews that you're listening to. So Archer Place, yeah, it's really awesome, and we've got some pre-sales going on. So when you think about pre-sales, people can get an actual, they look at it as an investment, right? Because you get a heck of a value.
Yeah, so we have a pre-construction pricing going on right now. We are currently 20% sold in the community, yet we do have about 14 residences that are at pre-construction pricing. And that's only for a limited time. What that means is those residences are 10% off retail, which is huge. It's a great opportunity to get into the community quickly before we really start filling up with reservations.
Yeah, if it's a $500,000 home, you're talking about a $50,000 discount.
Yeah, and we have everything from a 1-bedroom, 1-bath starting in the 400,000s all the way up to 3-bedroom penthouse units, 2 stories, plunge pools. That'll run you, the high 9s. So we really have something for every type of buyer.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Really awesome. I love Gainesville, Florida. Going up there during the fall, especially watching some football games, and they always have concerts at the stadium, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. It's a treasure in the state of Florida.
Yeah, that's right.
It really is. So what else are you seeing? You're also you're managing our team, and the growth on the team has been really awesome.
Yeah, so obviously with getting 92 luxury listings, we have seen a tremendous amount of growth. We also currently have 60 listings at home base. So we really do have a need right now to be talent scouting for additional buyers, agents, listing agents. We've got a lot of leads coming in the door and a lot of activity. So we're definitely seeing some growth. Right now we have 10 licensed agents. I manage a staff of 7 different administrators. And things are really pumping.
Yeah, really with Livian, the model is awesome. I mean, the model of Livian allows you to, as a real estate agent or even a team leader, to kind of focus on the real estate business itself and not get caught up in a lot of the the administrative side of the business.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, the way that I came to New Homes is through Livian. I was at one of their conferences back in November, October timeframe, I think, and I got to meet Pauline Dent, who is the national director for New Homes. As an organization, she's really wonderful. All of the CEOs, VPs, just really amazing. And I ran a sales company for 13 years and interacted with a lot of different corporate companies, really big corporate companies. And so I have a critical eye on system, structure, organization, training models, and things like that. And I was very, very impressed with New Homes. And just talked to Pauline for several different weeks, had a lot of different meetings and conversations. And it came about that I was able to take a position as a territory director with New Homes. And this Gainesville opportunity kind of fell in our lap. The builder contacted us and said that they really needed some help as far as the sales and administration operations type of thing. And so, of course, we had to interview for it. There's several different opportunities, right? People had different opportunities, and we ended up getting it. So it was a really amazing opportunity.
Yeah, super cool. If you just joined us, we're talking with Lindsay Rhymes, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, and Livy and Coastal Elite. We're talking about Archer Place in Gainesville as well. It's a 92-unit luxury condo development that we're representing in Gainesville, Florida. And tell us a little bit about the builder.
Yeah, so BAI Capital is the investment company that Arturo has. Arturo is the builder. BAI Capital is amazing. They have done some really cool projects. One of them is actually the Four Seasons in Miami. They've also built some hotels in New York City, which they really just specialize in luxury. You can tell from their projects. And one of the things that I love about this builder is they do not break ground until they are fully funded to complete the project. So this isn't the type of situation where you're going to get into a scenario where they say, oh, we're going to be complete in 18 to 24 months, and then they're still raising capital. They've got all of that already.
Yeah. So that's when you look at you're investing in a developer in a community like that, you want to make sure they're financially sound, and that's a key component of that when you look into real estate. Talk about the EB-5 immigration, because that's another big aspect of this.
Yeah, so one thing that's really beneficial for foreign nationals looking to invest in the United States, this is an EB-5 approved project. And what that means is there's a certain amount of jobs that are created, a certain amount of money that's going to come into the American economy. And if the foreign national invests a certain amount, I believe right now it's $875,000. And of course, they have to go through a process, a vetting process as well. They are able to get green cards for themselves and for their immediate family. And then, of course, they can turn around and they can invest in real estate in the United States and, create that American dream. Yeah,
that's right. Investing in real estate is a major way to build wealth and grow your family's legacy. So buying something like this, you're also buying at a discount in a sense, because you're able to buy pre-construction pricing. Developers really like that. They like to see the dollars flowing in there. What else are you thinking, Lindsay, when we think about Archer Place in Gainesville?
I think it's an amazing opportunity for parents who are sending their students over to the University of Florida. We have a lot of friends in our world that are sending kids off to school. No matter where you're sending your kid, you're looking at spending a lot of money on room and board or apartments or whatever it is. And what I'm talking to all of our friends and family about is, why would you waste that money? And
rent,
rent. And even if the first year, you want your young adult on campus, to have that experience, still buy the property, buy the asset, rent it out for that first year so you have some income coming in, and then that second year, go ahead and give them some responsibility. Let them manage the property for you. Let them get some roommates and make some money, and then in 4 years you can turn around and you can sell that and you can give them that profit for a down payment on a house that they want to get, or you can keep it as, you know, an investment property after that. And Archer Place has no short-term rental restrictions.
Oh, that's a big plus.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
That's awesome. All right, good stuff. Reach out to the hotline if you'd like more information, 727-263-3707. You can call the show hotline, 727-263-3707. Call or text. It's an off-air number. All right, Lindsay, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, another great show. We had Jason Avery, Logan Briggs, and Lindsay Rhymes on the show today. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.